Next question is organic almond butter versus organic peanut butter. Almond has more fat, peanut has more protein, same sugar content here. So for those of you who just don't like to hear me babble, here's the basics. Almond butter and peanut butter, if it's organic and no sugar added, thumbs up for both of them. I am really going to be splitting hairs here. If you have a preference, just choose whatever you like more, go with it. Now to split hairs, which you know I love to do. I just love digging into all this stuff. Number one, most important thing, no added ingredients. So whether it's almond or peanut butter, I don't want to see high fructose corn syrup in there. A little bit of salt is okay. You know, like water would totally be okay. But I really just want the only ingredients to be almonds or peanuts. If that's the case on your jar, that takes precedence or priority over almond versus peanut for sure, especially if we're talking added sugar, whether it's high fructose corn syrup, maple syrup, honey, cane sugar, organic cane sugar, regular sugar, molasses, I already said honey, I think. Any of these sugars or anything ending in OSE, dextrose, maltose, sucrose, galactose, any of these, we don't want that in our almond butter and peanut butter. So that's for sure number one. Number two, which was said in the question, is organic. So especially if it's peanut, I do prefer organic. I know it's more expensive, and organic almond butter is like major bucks. So in that way, organic peanut butter wins because organic peanut butter is generally a lot less expensive. But peanuts are susceptible to something called aflatoxins, which is basically like a mold, more or less, and that can cause a lot of inflammation in people who are super sensitive to that. So if you're going to get peanut and you can spring the extra couple dollars for organic, I would highly recommend that. The question was worded, let's see, almond has more fat, but, so almost saying like, is more fat bad? No, the reason that I eat almond butter and peanut butter is for the fat. When I give my clients their macronutrient sheet, protein, fat, and carbohydrates, almond butter and peanut butter are a great source of fat. Fat from good sources is not scary. We love fat. Fat keeps us full for longer. Fat is super great for our organs, skin, hair, all kinds of things like that. For me, if I don't eat fat during a meal or a snack, I feel hungry like 30 minutes later. It doesn't matter if it's a giant salad. If I don't have fat on there, I'm going to get hungry. So the extra fat is not bad. Of course, do I want you to eat a jar of almond butter? No, although that's tempting. If you've never done almond butter just with a spoon, it's really good. Okay, I'm going to stop daydreaming about that and get back to my points. So almond butter has slightly more nutrients, vitamin E, things like that, but basically it's a toss-up. Peanuts, in the paleo community, peanuts are legumes. They're not actually nuts, which is kind of weird. But legumes in the paleo community are not allowed. Because we've talked about this on a previous Free Coaching Friday, things like phytic acid, what are called anti-nutrients that could interfere in the absorption. I don't worry about it too much as long as peanut butter doesn't make you feel sick and you're having, you know, not 29 tablespoons of peanut butter every day. I'm totally not concerned that it's a legume. And then the last point that I had in my notes was expense, which I already touched on. Almond butter is just more expensive. Now, 8 times out of 10, no, let's call it 6 times out of 10, I buy almond butter because I love the taste. I love actually the grittiness. Probably 2 times out of 10, I'll buy peanut butter, organic, no added sugar. And then 2 times out of 10, I'll buy something funky. Like cashew butter is delicious. Pecan butter, amazing. My very favorite nut butter ever is called Nutzo, N-U-T-T-Z-O. I'm not kidding you guys. I only buy like 1 jar per year because this stuff is insanely expensive. I think it's like $18 for a jar. And I just, that's not in my budget for every single week. But on occasion for a treat, like super awesome. It's very gritty. It has like chia seeds and stuff in there. But once you try it, you'll never go back. Or you probably will if you're like me and you can't just stomach the expense of $18 for a jar.